3 5-minute rounds then, this catchweight contest. Stefa Raharian against Jerome S. Pay. Raharian, the unbeaten fighter with a 3-0 record, fighting in front of his home fans here at the Jakarta Convention Center. And immediately he takes the center of the cage.
Raharian's nice cage control, controlling that distance. You can see Jerome moving around, nice and light on his feet. Just a little bit of a feeling out process here. Pay told me repeatedly that he wants to put on a show tonight because he feels he didn't get to show all of his skills his last time out. Raharian presses Pay up against the cage now. Good wide stance from Pay to defend the possible takedown.
Just behind Jerome S. Pay's back, we have Stefa Raharian grabbing the cage, and that's something that the referee Olivier Coste couldn't see.
I don't think he was grabbing the cage, Steve. I think his hand just got like kind of a little bit poked through there. I don't think he was actually trying to, maintain position on the cage. I think he was just relaxed. His hand was just sliding through the hole there a little bit.
Olivier's having a good look at it just to make sure. You could well be right. Maybe not trying to gain any kind of an advantage. It's an illegal move either way to grab the cage with your hands or your feet.
Yeah, he's got a good shoulder pressure coming, so that's going to keep up the cage. So I don't think he needs to try to hold on to the cage to kind of maintain that position by any means. You can see him attacking the right leg here of Jerome S. Pay in a nice, possibly high crotch, but he chooses to let it go.
They're directly above us here at cage side, and it's Jerome S. Pay who is consistently pinned against this cage wall.
Yeah, Leone's told me that he's just got so much power and he's so strong as he's pressing Pay up against the cage here. Now he's doing a little bit of damage with the knees, scoring a little bit there.
Yeah, they're landing square on the thigh of the Liberian.
Grab the cage, watch out.
Now, he did get a little warning there from Olivier not to grab the cage. It is hard to see because his hand is jammed between the back and the fence there. There may not be much choice in what he does with that hand. Not much space to work with. Anyway, they're back in the center of the cage now. And again, he works the legs, this time with the feet. Raharian. He's got a nice compact stance, hasn't he? Leads with his left hand.
Yeah, he's really spent a lot of time working a lot of boxing. Likes to avoid the takedowns, he throw a lot of kicks, but he likes to throw his hands quite heavily. Now it's Pay's turn to press Raharian up against the cage. Now this is an exhausting little position right here. You're consistently battling for position, trying to hand fight, trying to swim your arms in to counter your opponent. But Raharian does a good job of turning Pay around now.
So he switched it around and we're back in that familiar position, not too far away from where they were just a minute ago. 3 minutes done in this opening round.
You can see Raharian trying to use his head to press up against the chin of Pay, and that's going to help hold him in position as well, so we can drive that right knee into the left leg of Jerome Pay. And Jerome Pay, he fights in a southpaw position, so that's going to be his power shot. He likes to throw those kicks from that left side.
Yeah, that left leg, Jerome is really taking a little bit of punishment.
Raharian's trying to change levels and drop down now. Still going after that high crotch. Pulls Pay away from the cage.
Trying to lift him up and see if he can send him down to the canvas, but did well there.
Yeah, Pay did the right thing. He's got good balance, good stability there. Able to maintain that position. Olivier, no action. You gotta stay active. You gotta be punching. You gotta be doing damage. Otherwise, Olivier Coste is gonna separate these guys.
The secret to that takedown defense, I think, from Jerome S. Pay, when he kept his feet nice and wide apart, just to make it an awkward weight and an awkward shape to tip up. Final minute of the opening round. Kick to the head from the Liberian, but he takes the right hand from the Indonesian, who still takes the center of the cage. He's got his right hand nice and high to defend any big overhand left from the southpaw. There it is, that swinging overhand left. Quite telegraphed.
He's kind of reaching out there. You got to make sure he doesn't open his hands up too much. He's got to keep those hands nice and clenched. Just kind of testing his range, just sort of nice and relaxed, just kind of feeling out, making sure he has the right reach and distance. Again, he's setting up that left kick quite well.
Oh, there's a big coming together there, and right and left hand from Jerome Espay just to finish that round and catch the eyes of the judges, who will score this fight in its entirety. We don't divide things up round by round here.
Well, let's just go to Rich Franklin and see how he broke down that fight, because it's an interesting round to score.
Yeah, it's quite a difficult round to score, actually. You know, most of this was just jockeying for position, cage control, pushing against the cage. Not a lot of damage was done, not really anything in the striking superiority category. So I actually put Raharian ahead on aggression, because he had the cage control mode, like push and pay against the cage most of the time. So it's the lowest scoring category that we have, but he's ahead in the fight so far.
Well, there you have it. So some things have to change in this round. You know, it doesn't look like either of these fighters really have the, want to take this fight to the ground. It's kind of like just controlling position. So it's really going to come down probably the striking game on both of these guys to see who can really start to push the pace on the other one, because I don't think they expended much energy in that round.
Big deal for Raharian if he can come away with the victory here tonight. To extend his record to 4-0 will catch plenty of attention in and around the flyweight division. This one is a catchweight contest.
Ready?
Unbeaten fighters always grab the eye.
Now there should be a little bit of urgency from both these guys to put a little bit of pressure, a little bit more aggression come from these guys, especially in the striking department.
Jerome just looking to flick out that right jab, but it's a long way off the target, so it's something of a range finder, just to keep his opponent out of range for the time being.
Again, Raharian initiates the clinch, but Pay was able to do a nice little reversal there, kind of a Matador-esque position, and switch the position.
Nice right hand from Raharian, who just missed with a swinging left hook as they came out of the clinch. Jerome goes for the sweep, can't pull it off. And again, that attack from the right knee of the Indonesian to the left thigh of the Liberian.
So you can see the hand fighting that's occurring there in the clinch, and they're really just trying to minimize any damage from the other fighter. You can possibly see maybe some short elbows from Raharian, but Pay's got such a tight grip on those hands, it's really hard to do anything else but besides knee that leg.
There's a shocking coming together of knees there as they both threw a knee at exactly the same time. Neither man seems particularly bothered by it. It affected me at cage-side.
All right, guys, break. Guys, watch out, headbutt.
And Olivier Coste, the referee, just separates these two, brings them back to center ground.
You can see Pay kind of lunging forward a little bit. You can see that left kick's coming. Oh, there's a right kick. You can just see how he just kind of sets that up. You can see how his feet slide together.
Such a difficult maneuver, isn't it, to get that leg up there quickly. And he's just a tad slow. Both times he's tried it, it's been easy enough for the Indonesian to fend off.
Yeah, but Taekwondo fighters, they have such explosive kicks, and that's what they're known for. They're known for really throwing those lightning fast kicks from all angles.
Now, Olivier Coste here has seen something he's not so happy about.
There was a slight low blow there. Could have been just a grazing blow that Olivier Coste managed to catch. Just gives him a little bit of time here. I think he's got about 5 minutes to make sure we have an injury timeout possibly, and he's fully recuperated. Rich, how's this round going for you, Rich?
Yeah, it was just an inadvertent low kick, so he'll get the duration of a round to recover from the foul. 5 minutes.
Injury time. Referee's injury time.
Oh, there it is, yeah. Very, very central, wasn't it? No wonder he wants a little bit of a break. 5 minutes is the maximum he'll get. Here's a reminder of our rule set here at One Championship. The fighter allowed 5 minutes then, and the possibility of a medical examination. I don't think he'll need that. I think we all know what the situation is. If he's unable to resume after that 5 minutes, then an official decision will be given. From what we can see, it doesn't look as if that's going to happen. And Stefan Raharian is just about ready to go again. These fighters wearing mandatory foul-proof protectors. Are they any good, Mitch? Do they do the job?
Yeah, they do. They do definitely help protect you, but it's still like just the shock of getting kicked there a lot of times can really just disrupt your whole sort of mental process, and it really takes a fighter out of its game. But, you know, it depends on a lot of, we've seen a lot of advances in technology for protecting the groin there of fighters.
Stefan Raharian just stamped his left foot down there and threw a right hand based on the weight. There it is again. This time followed it up with the left hand. And those kicks to the head from Jerome Espay are coming in a little bit quicker than they originally were. So we're livening things up here past the halfway point in the second round. And that means we're past the halfway point in the fight. Somebody is going to have to take charge of this one and stamp their authority.
PAYE's kind of using these kicks as sort of a distance keeper. He's able to keep Raharian away from striking range, but you can see Raharian comes forward, but when he does come forward, that's when the clinch happens and they get pushed up against the cage again. He's throwing that nice left high kick, hasn't really been able to connect cleanly. He's definitely showing aggression with that shot.
Sends the kick upstairs, and then with Raharian knowledgeable that that is a potential weapon, he sends one downstairs to the thigh. So he's making him work defensively all the time, and the Ali shuffle, which we don't see so often.
Yeah, that right low kick, that sort of step in low kick there to Raharian seems to be PAYE's best weapon. But now see what happens, they get close. Raharian tries to clinch, wants to drag this fight to the ground. But PAYE's got really good takedown defense. He's got a good wide base, a good center of gravity to prevent Raharian from taking this fight to the ground.
So as we saw in the first few moments of this contest, Jerome Espay is pressed up against the cage with that low angle that Raharian's giving him to make sure that he doesn't have any scope to get out. And once again, that right hand is trapped between Jerome's body and the cage wall. He's got it free now. And it's a battle of hands, as you've picked on previously, Mitch. Tiring process, isn't it, for both of these two?
Oh, it's exhausting to be in these positions and to consistently be trying to pummel is what they're doing, how they're changing their arm positions where one arm's under, one hand's, you know, above the arm. He's trying to go for the high crotch there or a single leg takedown, but PAYE's got really good takedown defense, and he's using the cage wall very intelligently to make sure this fight stays on the feet.
Final 10 seconds of this second stanza. That means 10 minutes down, 5 to go. Left hand from Raharian landed flush, and Jerome came back with a left of his own that ends the second round. And he looks a little weary, doesn't he, Stefan Raharian? He'll need this crowd to take him through the final 5 minutes if he's going to get the win here and improve his record to 4-0.
So, Rich, is aggression the only thing you're scoring here, or what is happening to you?
No, actually, these two guys are starting to accumulate some points in the striking superiority category. The comment that Steve made about the left hand that Raharian landed right there at the end of the round is a telltale sign. Every time they're grappling or they're clinching, Raharian does a good job on the exchanges of landing a couple punches in the combo, but his right hand is really starting to find a home. PAYE is throwing those kicks. Most of them are blocked. A couple of them are starting to sneak through. But at this point in time, I still have Raharian ahead on the aggression, and he's starting to mount more points on the striking superiority as well. So on my scorecards, he's ahead.
Does PAYE have a chance at winning this fight? What does he have to do differently to take control of this fight?
Absolutely. This is not one of those fights where one fighter has a huge lead over the other one. This is a very methodical fight, and they're very selective about what they're doing. So anybody with this remaining 5 minutes could really take a major lead here.
Yeah, methodical's a great word to describe this fight. These two very orthodox in their stance, and they don't throw uncontrolled combinations. Just at the beginning of that round, we had Olivier Coste bring the fighters together and ask for more action. Oh, a good right hand catches Jerome PAYE, and he jumps right on top of him, Raharian. But he pops up, the Liberian. Doesn't want to give the impression that he was hurt in any serious way, but
just on your request, Steve, does Raharian land a big right hand to PAYE? and now he's really going after that body clinch, trying to secure that takedown. But Pay's doing a good job of staying on his feet after getting rocked like that.
Well, staying on his feet, he was only on one foot for quite a while there as Raharian attacked, tried to get a sweep, tried to get his man down on his back, but he wasn't having it, Jerome. Still pressed up against the cage, but he's on his feet. We had Rich Franklin telling us that Stefan Raharian just ahead as they started this third round. And that punch from him surely just improved his situation. A little bit of blood dripping down Raharian's back, and my bet is that that's coming somewhere from Jerome S. Pay's head.
I like that right hand, man. I'd like to see him throw more of that shot. You know, set it up with a jab and then throw that big right hand again. Raharian's trying to keep that foot on the outside of Pay's lead foot, so that gives him a little bit direct line to that big right hand.
I can't see if either of these men are cut. It could be that the blood's coming from a nose. No serious injury evidence with 3 minutes left in this third and final round.
Here's Raharian again initiating that clinch, and that could be why he looks exhausted, because this position, trying to consistently fight for that takedown, really just sucks your energy out.
Olivier Coste working almost as hard as these two fighters to ensure that we're constantly entertained. What a slave driver he is, asking these guys to keep the intensity up. Left hook that just clipped Jerome S. Pay, followed up by a bit of a pedestrian right hand, and Jerome comes back with a left of his own that did land. The zest has come out of these two fighters, though, as we go deep into this final round. It's starting to tell the pace, isn't it?
We're starting to see Pay, whenever he throws that jab out, he starts dropping that right hand.
Good right hand from Raharian.
Yeah, and so that's what's enabling Raharian to land that big right hand, is because every single strike that Pay throws, he drops his left hand and exposes his chin.
Well, Rich used that word methodical, and they're nice single punches that Raharian throws. Very orthodox, but they are quite pinpoint.
He's got to keep those hands up to protect that chin.
Just cornering Jerome, isn't he? Just inching him towards the cage so that he can get at something of a stable target, reducing his escape route.
There's Raharian pressing Pay up against the cage now, trying to change levels, go after that leg again.
Come on, let's go.
Really is pressing hard, isn't he? Look at the angle he's got on him. He's almost 45 degrees with his head deep into the chest. What I can confirm is that that blood that we saw is coming from Jerome Pay's nose, so it might cause a little bit of difficulty with breathing, but no element of the fight being in danger of a stoppage because of that injury. Good left hand from Jerome S. Pay, and Stefan Raharian gives him a little nod of appreciation for a good punch well landed.
Last minute here, you can see Raharian pressing Jerome against the cage. He's got to change his defensive tactic, maybe shoot in for a takedown rather than trying to get the takedown from the clinch, because Pay's demonstrating really good takedown defense up against the cage.
Quite hard to sweep Raharian with that 45-degree angle that we were talking about. His feet are so far away. Digging those shoulders in, isn't he? And he good right hands to the body and the head, switching it up and down. Back comes Jerome with a couple of little taps to the head, and Olivier Coste wants them back in the center of the cage. And left-right from the Indonesian. Final 15 seconds of this contest. Ahead on Rich Franklin's card as we enter these last 5 minutes. Surely he's done enough to retain that lead. The crowd getting behind him, and Raharian saying, come on in, I want more of you.
Time.
Fight's over, and Jerome puts his hand in the air. But I think, Mitch, that's probably a little optimistic.
Yeah, Raharian did have the knockdown. He was able to control a lot of the fight with that constant pressure. Let's take a look at this. There's that right hand. See, as he was throwing the low kick, his hands came way down, and that enabled Raharian to land a big right hand to put Jerome down, and then he just jumped all over him. But to Jerome's credit, he was able to keep himself composed and pop right back up.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of intense battle, we turn to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges have scored in favor for your winner by unanimous decision. From the red corner, Stephen